a mum to 4 children, 3 birth, 1 adopted, all with additional needs, from autism to ADHD, all the disses, dyslexia, dyscalculia and dyspraxia, then Tourette's, attachment disorder and a bit of depression too. That's a lot of labels, but labels are only a problem if you have a problem with the label. My children's diagnoses explain them in a world that currently needs an explanation. Right now, we sit at a moment in history where there has never been an opportunity in our lifetime for change such as this. And history will judge how we rise to this challenge. In the stillness and silence of lockdown, for many, life stopped overnight, just like that. Finally, the people have had a chance to think. I found it a profound time. We've had 7 people living under one roof, and yet it's been one of the easiest times of our lives in recent years. But why is that? I'm not boasting, by the way. It's just, how is it with all the so-called issues our family has? We've experienced one of the happiest, most productive times ever. Why, when you take society's judgment out, does it suddenly work? How is this possible? In the past 5 years, I have a number of times sat on suicide watch with one of my children, not knowing if she would live to see adulthood. Another child has been out of school completely for 2.5 years because apparently there is not a school within 90 minutes of where we live for this highly intelligent, high-functioning autistic young woman. Over the years, I've celebrated some of my children's schools and it's been great, and others have probably aged me prematurely. This has also been a time during this period of lockdown to stop and reflect. The stillness has given us a chance to ask some really important questions. Am I happy here? Is this working? Why is this not working? What can we change? In terms of education, I believe the system is broken. And by that, I mean, if the system doesn't work for all, then it doesn't work. We currently have a system that still celebrates hero leadership, where leadership happens to people and not with people. It is an institution rightfully proud of its history, but stuck. It's also this pride that leaves it unable to reflect or adjust wisely. Policies that make schools compete, make them businesses, set narrow objectives that can only be attained by the few, that lead to distorted priorities. Where the school's sole aim is to have a declaration on a plastic banner hanging on the railings. And the fruits of this system are fault-finding, blame, judgment, division, departing the profession, and mental health breakdowns. This impacts the educational sector, teachers, parents, and students alike. We turn on one another. Meanwhile, the policymakers continue in their ivory towers. Right now, we have an opportunity to create a new normal. We need to create something that is more meaningful. We need to create something that will give all children and young people the best start in life. Education should be inspirational. If the top-down system doesn't work and they won't listen, we must create a bottom-up system. We must create a compelling groundswell, a revolution in our education system that means it works for all. All parties feel part of something bigger, creating and preparing young people for a kinder, less combative, less costly world. In this time of great loss, we can reflect on what remains, what is left. The real value is not the system. The real value has always been in the individuals, the people. So here are my top 10 markers of an educational revolution. Number 1, values. The space should no longer be held by those whose sole pursuit is economic growth or educational eugenics. What do we actually care about? What is of real value? Equally, in a world of false equivalency, the vacuum should no longer be held by the vacuous. We need values that count, values that are stable and life-giving, unashamedly reclaiming words like kindness and goodness. Number 2, calling. We need to return to valuing teachers for whom the profession is a calling. You should no longer be weighed down by the tightly controlled minutiae of demands. You should be trusted to bring your unique gifts and talents into the classroom. You are truly the essential workers. Number 3, unity. We refute the division that is caused by policy that leads to judgment, blame, shame and division. We will work together. Number 4, equality. All parties should be treated equally, all communities valued, all have status, all are respected. Number 5, inclusion. We need a system that works for all. We need schools where the late developing children are not left behind or cut adrift in the rush for the outstanding banner. Schools where all are celebrated, all can flourish, all are valued, all are recognised as having something to offer. Number 6, flexibility. Our systems cannot be so tightly controlled that there is no room for flexibility. Inflexibility is based in fear of getting it wrong. Which brings me on to number 7. Failure with rapid response. We cannot learn unless we take risks, work out what works and what doesn't. A resilient community can go beyond failure and can continue to move forward. The very essence of learning is accepting that there are things we do not know. Number 8, sharing. If we are unified, we will no longer work in silos. Killing the competitive element gets rid of egos. Best practice can be shared. A good idea is a good idea regardless of who thought of it. Number 9, imagination, creativity and curiosity. We have an opportunity to imagine something new, to create new ways of doing things. This time of suffering has left many curious, asking questions. Curiosity is good. It paves a pathway towards productive solutions. Imagination, creativity and curiosity should be life goals for all students. Number 10, self-sustaining. Many of these markers of an educational revolution cost nothing. They're not about finances, they are about mindset and human resources. If you will not come with us and you will not help us, we will build it for ourselves. The centre of a school or community is not sustained by the economy, it is held together by the heart. It is held together by individual people who dare to dream, who are prepared to work together. It is created by those who are able to set aside the me for the us. A society grows great when people plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. What we build today may not flourish until tomorrow. Let's build it anyway. What we plant today may not grow until tomorrow. Let's plant it anyway. What we sow today, we may not reap until tomorrow. Let's sow it anyway. Because we are the builders, we are the planters, we are the sowers, and tomorrow's world begins with what we choose to do today. Thank you.